Kinsler standing by with JP Morosi.
Thanks, Matt. Ian, you have outstanding numbers against Irvin Santana. What's the key against him tonight?
I mean, he's got to get a good pitch to hit. You know, he's been good for a really long time for a reason, and you know, he's very good at getting hitters to chase. So it's all about getting a good pitch to hit and make sure to put a good swing on it.
You've played in huge games in October. Does this remind you of that type of atmosphere, that kind of stakes?
It's close. Yeah, it's really close. It's a lot of fun. I mean, obviously the crowds are into it. There's a lot of horns, a lot of rattlers, a lot of flags flying. So it's a really good time, and it's been a lot of fun.
Ian, thanks so much.
All right, thanks, John.
Matty, back to you.
JP, thanks. The U.S. hoping to avenge last Saturday's loss to the Dominicans in Miami. The defending champs want to keep marching toward Los Angeles. After a quick timeout, we're back with the starting lineups and the first pitch. Elimination night in San Diego. The U.S. and the Dominican Republic are coming up next. The U.S. and the Dominican Republic round to a rematch revenge opportunity for Team United States looking to move on to the tournament. Here's how Jim Leland aligns the U.S. Kinsler, Jones, and Yelich off the top. Eric Hosmer's been a hot bat. He was the All-Star Game MVP in this very ballpark. He bats number 5. McCutchen, Crawford, Stanton, and Lucroy rounded out for Team USA. On the mound for the Dominicans, the 34-year-old veteran right-hander Irvin Santana.
Well, you see the numbers for the Twins. Fastball, slider, changeup. That's what you're going to see out of Santana. Command the two-seamer, go to that slider and changeup quite often.
First pitch of the night to Ian Kinsler. A high fly ball fading on the right side of the infield. Carlos Santana's been at that position all tournament long for the Dominican Republic, and there's one away.
Well, here's the points, I think. Biggest start ever. That's got to be so far for Irvin Santana. And then the slider command. That is going to be a key, and throw strikes. He can get a little wild with his fastball, but this man knows how to pitch. He's been doing it for a while and wants to check in.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to a live stream, Dominican Republic, USA from 2017. This is an instant classic. If you haven't seen it, I got you covered until the big game happens at 6:30 tonight. And by the way, it's going to be beautiful. Once the last second hits in the football game, it's officially baseball season, folks.
Has good career numbers in this ballpark. 96 miles an hour on the fastball from Santana. Adam Jones is one of the players that we made reference to when we went on the air that has significant postseason elimination game experience. Same can be said of his adversary on the mound. Irvin Santana has pitched in the postseason for 4 of his 12 years in the big leagues. And there are the Petco Park numbers for Adam Jones we talked about. 14 for 29 here as an Oriole and a Mariner. The third, got to pick on somebody else because Manny Machado has been unbelievable defensively here. 2 away.
Yeah, that's the wrong guy to pick on, that's for sure. Looks like it's going to be a little higher of a strike zone tonight based on the first call to Adam Jones. Machado, this is like a layup with nobody guarding you.
Two gone bases empty now for Christian Yelich, the outstanding young Miami Marlin. 6 for 18 in tournament play so far. He's had a great WBC. Going to be another chilly night here. Same way we saw last night's game play out. 61 degrees at game time. Just a brilliant red dusk sky here in downtown San Diego as we get started tonight. And a lot of folks still milling their way into the ballpark. 1-1. If you missed last Saturday's meeting between these two powers, the U.S. jumped out to a 5-0 lead. The Dominicans started their comeback process in the bottom of the 6th and ended up with a 7-5 win.
No, ball down.
2 balls and a strike. Bullpen had a tough time of it. A couple of big home runs by the Dominicans, Nelson Cruz and Starling Marte. Two and two to Christian Yelich.
far early on. Pretty much in command with all three of his pitches.
Urban Santana was added to Team Dominican Republic's roster from the designated pitchers pool. He did not join the team until they got to San Diego this week. Full count now, 3-2. Nolan Arenado waiting on deck. Kinsler popped out. Jones grounded to the left side. And now a payoff pitch on its way home to Yelich. Another ground ball from Machado. And a routine start to the night for the veteran Urban Santana. Underway in the nightcap. The winner moves on to Los Angeles. Here's how Tony Pena aligns Team Dominican Republic. He has had just a little change to his lineup, not much. This has been his group throughout. Reyes, Machado, and Cano, Cruz, Santana, and Marte, Beltre, Polanco, and Castillo. Gregory Polanco has been outstanding in this tournament. He bats number 8. It's Jose Reyes to lead things off against the 28-year-old left-hander Danny Duffy on the mound for the U.S.
See the numbers in that win against Canada. Attacks with the fastball, slider, changeup.
Reyes 5 for 13 in tournament play so far. He has stolen a base. Yeah, 7 strikeouts for Danny Duffy in that game on Sunday against Canada. Really an undermanned Canada team. This is going to present a whole different challenge for him tonight as he gets in front of Reyes 1-2. Reyes, Machado, and Cano last of the first. Danny Duffy is coming off a career year in Kansas City. A career best 12 wins. 12-3 was his final win-loss record, an ERA of 3.51. After starting out the year as a swing man, established himself as the staff ace in the second half of the season. Reyes on a convenient hop for Brandon Crawford, and there's one gone in the last of the first.
Well, for Danny Duffy, limit the stress by the leadoff hitters. Make sure you can get the leadoff hitters of every inning, pitch ahead, and then a repeat performance. If you can get anywhere close to that kind of performance, the U.S. will be in a good spot against this heavily favored offense that they put together throughout this WBC tournament. Their offense from 1 to 9. I mean, the U.S. is very capable to match them in any way that they line them up. But their offense, I think, is probably as complete of an offense as you can have.
Here's Manny Machado now with the leadoff hitter retired. Machado 6 for 21 with a home run in the tournament. Yeah, the Dominican lineup as a team, they have hit .299 through their first 5 games. 8 home runs. Only Japan has hit for more power than the Dominicans. And they really even haven't gotten that guy going yet. Robinson Cano 4 for 16 with 7 walks. He waits next as Machado swats a ground ball to Crawford. The 2-time Gold Glover has a problem with it and then yanks the throw. A rare defensive miscue by Brandon Crawford, and the Dominicans have a 1-out base runner.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the live stream here at New York Minute Sports, New York Minute Sports Show, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere in that smoke wagon you call the information superhighway, you can find me. Dominican Republic, USA from 2017. This is an instant classic. If you haven't seen this game, it's amazing, folks. Check it out. We're leading you right up to the big game at 6:30 tonight. The game will be over by then. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notifications. Leading up to baseball season, I'm going to be getting us ready for the World Baseball Classic, breaking down the international teams, replaying classic games, and then also replaying classic AL East games leading up to this also. So don't forget to hit that notification button.
Cano.
Also, I saw a stat about Robinson Cano today. It was wild. Most hits of any player from 2010 to 2020, 1,200 hits.
Ran roughshod over the tournament as the MVP of the 2013 World Baseball Classic. Is yet to really get the power cranked up. 1-1. There's been some head-to-head here, Cano and Duffy. And Robbie Cano's had some success against his adversary tonight, 6 for 14.
Well, he stays on lefties really good because he's just about as smooth as a hitter. Not a lot of wasted motion. And like I said, rarely seems off balance.
A strike to put it behind 1-2. As Tony Pena has told us throughout the tournament, Robinson Cano is the unquestioned leader of the Dominican squad. And that's saying something when you consider some of the other leaders on this roster, players like Adrian Beltre. They are the two senior members of the unit. And it's Cano who probably gets everybody's ear whenever he wants it. He's wearing that C on his jersey for a reason. This is what he did in 2013 en route to becoming the MVP of the tournament. 15 for 32, 2 long balls. He was on base the entire 2 weeks. And it made for a pretty easy choice after.
That's why I always joke about the two positional players that Brian Cashman has developed has been Robinson Cano and Aaron Judge in the last 20 years. Not two bad guys. And remember, Robinson Cano came up. He was hitting 361 until he started taking juice.
Duffy's next one.
And then he turned into the 3-hitter on the New York Yankees where he was just launching about 31 home runs a year. That's the first time the New York Yankees did not overpay for a guy to retain him. He was looking at something like $365 million he got from Seattle. And then he went to baseball obscurity, popped for steroids, went to the Mets, and then played until he was 48.
Buster Posey caught yesterday and hit a home run. Posey caught Duffy on Sunday in Miami, and it's Lucroy out there tonight. Not sure that Manny is entertaining any thoughts of running here, but Duffy will keep him as close as he can. Nelson Cruz waiting on deck behind Cano, working with the 2-2 count here. 1 out and 1 on in the first. Goes to a full count.
Oh, that's such great plate discipline and coverage.
Machado stays put. The 3-2 to Cano, ripped into the opposite field. Yelich is on the move, and it's off the wall. Machado's being waved around. No throw to the plate, and the Dominican Republic strikes first.
Stays back, goes the other way, almost jams himself, that type of swing, but he's so strong, and Yelich doesn't know where the ball is right away. Just not a very good throw. Short hops Crawford. If Crawford had any chance, he was going to be able to have to get that in the air.
It is an RBI double for Robinson Cano. He wasn't going to stay that quiet for much longer. Here's Nelson Cruz now, and he has been a major problem for opposition pitching in the Classic. 3 home runs, a 5 for 17 line with power. A strike to Cruz. 3 straight seasons or 40 or more home runs. Nobody's hit more in Major League Baseball since the start of 2014. Behind quickly, 0-2. Edwin Encarnacion, and then Davis and Ortiz, a distant 3rd and 4th. Chance to pick up a second run here on a base hit, 1-0 DR. Cruz and Duffy have faced one another in the past, and this matchup belongs to the U.S. left-hander. Duffy's limited Cruz to just a 1-for-10 line career. Add 5 strikeouts in, and I'd say that's pretty good ownership for Danny Duffy.
Yes, it is.
Carlos Santana waits on deck. The switch-hitting Indians first baseman is next. The swing and a miss. Lucroy's got to scurry over to try to get it. A 3rd strike. It gets away from the U.S. backstop, provides further difficulty.
Well, much like yesterday, this first inning has not started off very well. The error by Crawford, double by Cano, and then a strikeout. And because it hit the front of the plate, you see the bounce that it took. This thing popped straight up. Lucroy, that's about as far away of a ball as going to go that you will see off of a catcher.
Wild pitch strikeout puts runners at the corners now. And if ever there were a time to dial up the ground ball, this is it. Carlos Santana, 9 for 22 against Danny Duffy in the past. He's had good success against the left-hander. Switch hitter in from the right side. Santana into the corner and hooking, foul. You know, yesterday the U.S. fell behind early. They were able to come back twice and get closer, but there just wasn't enough in the end. I mean, it made it tough when they fell behind on the 6 straight hits that opened the ball game. It was 4-0 before he could blink. Here tonight, the Dominican Republic with an early run. Santana with an Indians record for home runs by a switch hitter last year, 34 of them in round 2 of the American League pennant. 1-1.
Fastball tried to go in, went up. Not as close as he thought, but keeping him from diving nonetheless.
Oh, this guy, 2-1.
2 balls and a strike now. Danny Duffy was super efficient on Sunday against Canada. The 7 strikeouts. He was really never in trouble in that start. As we mentioned earlier, this is a whole different assignment against a much better hitting Dominican lineup.
Needs something down in the zone to get a ground ball.
Lined into right, an RBI base hit. McCutcheon's there to cut it off quickly, but it won't stop Cruz from wrapping around to third, and the defending champs take an early 2-0 lead.
Well, we talked about this lineup being good from 1 through 9. See the breaking ball just doesn't get down far enough And Santana does a great job taking the pitch that he sees and not trying to do too much. Goes to right center. And an RBI.
So the U.S. pitching coach, Jeff Jones, comes out for a visit. They kind of opened up on the error. And then the double by Cano, the wild pitch strikeout, and the RBI single by Santana. Already 24 pitches for Danny Duffy. And that'll bring up Starling Marte. 3 for 8 in the tournament with a home run. A home run came against the U.S. a week ago in Miami. Beaten on the ground is shortstop. Crawford's coming home, and they get the out of the plate.
Got a good look at it. I got a good look at it.
One hit hard enough for 2. He comes home. And I don't know if LaCroix's foot caught Cruz's foot, but the foot that bounced up never got down to the plate. Great call. The lead foot bounced over the plate. The back foot didn't get there in time. The tag was applied.
Two gone, first and second now for Adrian Beltre. If you're wondering about the decision to come home, first of all, it worked. Crawford ended up making the right choice, but Brandon Crawford, being as intuitive as he is, knew what kind of speed was coming up the line to the first base bag. Starling Marte is one of the hardest players to double up in baseball. In fact, his home to first time on a competitive play, a non-sacrifice play such as that, is the third fastest among right-handed hitters in the game. Crawford rolled the dice, executed, and it worked, helping keep a run off the board. And Beltre sends a ground ball to Kinsler to retire the side, but the Dominican Republic does early damage. A couple of runs on a pair of hits. There was an error. 1 inning down, and a 2-0 lead for the defending champs. Middle of the order in the top half of the second. The U.S. playing catch-up virtually from the word go after 2 runs by the Dominicans in the first. Nolan Arenado leads things off against Irvin Santana. Arenado, Hosmer, and McCutchen for the Americans. Arenado 3 for 18 in the tournament with a home run. 2 of those 3 hits came last night in the loss to Puerto Rico. Arenado, one of the 2 U.S. hitters never to have faced Santana in a major league game. 1-2. Two-time All-Star ready to go against the 12-year veteran on the mound. Hey, look out. It looked like Nolan picked that up until a little late.
That's because he was anticipating something spinning away from him. They had a pitch in, and it worked.
Ball down.
Full count now, 3-2.
Huge inning when your team scores. I don't care where you're playing, little league, big leagues. Whenever your team scores, putting up a 0 that very next half inning sets the tone for the rest of the game.
High fly ball, popped behind the bag. Cano drifting and making the catch for out number 1. This World Baseball Classic telecast on MLB Network is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And sponsored in part by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Go get rewarded now at bestwestern.com. And by the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia. One away. And that'll bring up Eric Hosmer. Hosmer's had a great tournament. 7 for 18 with a home run, batting nearly 400. Not everybody's as synced up as Eric Hosmer is so far in the U.S. lineup. A couple of guys may have one last shot to get it going.
Well, he's just not missing the pitches he's been given to hit. When they're up, he makes it pay with damage. And then a good take like that. Guys have been getting pitches, and when your timing's off and when you're not 50 bats into spring training, you know, it can affect the way you're timing and swing.
Hosmer to shortstop hole. Reyes gloved it. It was going to be a tough play even if Jose Reyes was able to get a throw off. An infield single for Eric Hosmer, the first U.S. base runner tonight.
Let's see, even that one he hit as hard as the others. He hit it the other way. He just didn't try to pull it. Ball's up. Good contact.
The base runner now for the 5-time All-Star, Andrew McCutchen, whose night came to an abrupt end yesterday. McCutchen was ejected after arguing balls and strikes with home plate umpire Will Little, who's working first base tonight. Former Rookie of the Year and MVP, just 1 for 9 so far in the tournament.
Inside.
1-1. When Andrew McCutchen hits his next home run, it'll be career home run number 176. And that will tie him for 4th place on the all-time Pirates list with Barry Bonds. 1-2.
Pretty good numbers, first 8 seasons.
Yeah, I would say so when you're an all-star in 5 of your first 8 campaigns.
Yo, real quick.
Former
Andrew McCutchen's numbers, they're going to show it in a second. Andrew McCutchen's numbers is eerily similar in 8 years to what Don Mattingly did.
Inside.
1-1. When Andrew McCutchen hits his next home run, it'll be career home run number 176. And that will tie him for 4th place on the all-time Pirates list with Barry Bonds. 1-2.
Look at those numbers. MLB career, 8 seasons, 292 average. Donnie Baseball hit about 300, finished with 211 home runs, OPS around the same. Wow. And McCutchen's not a Hall of Famer.
Pretty good numbers, first 8 seasons.
Yeah, I would say so when you're an all-star in 5 of your first 8 campaigns. Hosmer on base with his team-leading 8th hit of the tournament. And it's still 1-2 to McCutchen. We talk about the big games that a lot of these players have played in. There are 23 All-Stars in each lineup tonight. amazing in terms of the volume and by the fact that it's an even number, 23 All-Star appearances on each side. Urban Santana, one of the players on the field that has pitched in big circumstances. We've talked about the postseason. How about the no-hitter he threw in July of 2011? First no-hitter by an Angel since Mike Witt had thrown one 27 years earlier. A swing and a miss. There's his first strikeout of the night.
Slider, and McCutcheon just pulling off just a little bit, just a hair.
Two out now with Hosmer still aboard at first for Brandon Crawford. Brandon's also had a good tournament at the plate, 6 for 14. His extra base hit yesterday made it a one-run affair and made it look like the U.S. was going to pull out some late magic. Game ended with Crawford as the tying run at third when Josh Harrison struck out. That's what put Puerto Rico in the semifinals a night ago. One and one.
The U.S. knows that their opportunity to score runs is going to be much more difficult later. Even though they've rallied at times and come back, this bullpen from the DR is really, really good. So keeping it close and getting their runs off of Santana will be essential.
A ball and a strike to Brandon Crawford. Giancarlo Stanton waiting on deck. And it's 1-2.
That's a changeup that's so good. He has the same motion as his fastball, about only 6 miles off of that fastball speed, and then the ball just tails.
Hosmer runs. Castillo throw down. It might not have been in time, but the ball came out anyway, making it academic. Eric Hosmer is able to steal a base, putting a runner in scoring position. And even with the proper tag, Hosmer had that beat. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Crawford with Hosmer at second.
Started him off with a changeup. See if he will try to finish him with a changeup. Went with the back foot slider right there, trying to get one that Crawford would swing over the top.
Full count pitch, and Crawford lifts a high drive to right field. Playable for Cruz to retire the side. Nothing comes with the 2-out stolen base. Still 2-0 DR. Welcome back to this World Baseball Classic telecast on MLB Network, presented by Geico. With Hall of Famer John Smoltz and JP Morosi, Matt Vasgersian back at Petco Park, where the Americans trail 2-0 early on tonight. chilly night atop the Western Metal Supply Company building. 60 degrees at game time. I know folks in the Northeast are saying, really, that's a chilly night?
No, it's outside.
You thin-blooded wimp. Chilly is relative. Here's Gregory Polanco to lead things off in the second. Polanco, Castillo, and Reyes against Danny Duffy, who encountered the trouble after the error in the first, allowed 2 runs, only one of them earned. One and one.
Polanco has been having a great series, and probably the only reason he's batting in the 8th spot is because it's lefty on lefty. Good chance he could be the MVP.
8 for 15 with a home run in the tournament is the outstanding young buck. 1 and 2. Danny Duffy again struck out 7 Sunday against Canada. He has 1 strikeout here tonight. A ball and 2 strikes on Polanco. Back up the middle and through. Leadoff hitter aboard in the DR second.
Well, 2 strike pitches go. That's not a good one. And Polanco seeing the ball really good. And when you're seeing it really good on a 2 strike approach, take it right up the middle.
Might not sound like a big deal, but last year Gregory Polanco hit .245 against lefties. It's more impressive when you learn that he hit around 200 against lefties in each of his first 2 years in the big league. Strike 1 to Wellington Castillo. Castillo 3 for 19 with a home run in the tournament. He hit a 2-run shot last week in Miami against Canada. It's been relatively quiet with the bat since. So talking about Danny Duffy and the role he'll play with the Royals moving forward. Stepped up, became the staff ace after the All-Star break last year. And the Royals, recognizing what they have in him, re-upped for a 5-year extension with Duffy. The team that drafted him, developed him, a 3rd rounder in 07, knows he's going to have a long-term home there now. And I'm sure his mom and dad, who are here tonight, both work in the law enforcement industry. Called law enforcement industry. It's an industry, isn't it? They both work in law enforcement. I'm sure they were pleased. Even though Danny has kind of settled into Kansas City and is transitioning in to make that really his full-time home. He's really embraced the community there. But with technology, JP, I guess you can feel like you're really anywhere in the world at any time.
No question about it. And Danny Duffy grew up in Lompoc, California, about 300 miles north of where we are right now. And a great story in the Lompoc Record, the newspaper there, that said at the exact moment Duffy agreed to terms, he did a very 2017 thing. He FaceTimed Dan and Deanna to say thank you.
Very 2017. I think he shakes off Lucroy once. Still working on Castillo, a ball and 2 strikes. And that's ripped into the left field corner, trouble. Yelich goes to get it. Polanco's held at 3rd, and the Dominican Republic is in business again.
They see another breaking ball, just rolls over the zone. And another 2-strike hit for the Dominican Republic here in this inning alone. And the U.S. has really got their backs against the wall right now. This game, for any chance for them. They've got to find a way to limit to 1 run.
Here's Jose Reyes now. Up there hacking. Reyes grounded out to shortstop to start the first. He's played in all 4 World Baseball Classics for Team DR. Base hit can make this a 4-0 game.
They're squaring up a lot of balls that Danny's throwing up there. He's got to find a way to bounce something right here. Higher than high or bounce it to Reyes. He will swing at fastballs up. Got to be thinking strikeout.
Manny Machado next. Reyes pops it up. That's not going to be deep enough to get anybody home as Kinsler gathers it in. A big first down here in the second.
So he threw it up by mistake, and it actually worked out to his advantage. They were trying to go in with the fastball. Reyes will aggressively swing up in the zone. It's very difficult to get on top of that fastball, especially from the right-hand side for Reyes. Watch where this pitch ended up. Way up there. Higher than high, lower than low. Nothing in between.
So now Machado, who reached on the error and scored the first of the 2 runs in the first. Just getting on base on an error is a small success for Manny Machado against Danny Duffy. 0 for 11 with 7 strikeouts against him during the course of the regular season. High fly ball into very shallow center. Jones preparing to throw. Polanco's going to stay put, and there are 2 gone.
All right, you get 2 huge outs, and you get to face Robinson Cano. But you get a chance to get out of this inning, and that would be a huge momentum swing for the U.S. team.
Cano doubled in the run back in the first. This were flip-flops and Nelson Cruz hit in front of Robinson Cano, you'd be tempted to walk Cruz to get to Cano, the left-handed hitter. I don't know that an intentional walk to get to anybody is worth even thinking about in this lineup. And Cano takes a strike. Well, you called it early, John. It seems as though Bill Miller is favoring the higher strike tonight.
Which should be better for Danny Duffy because he can live up there with his velocity. They try to eventually crowd Cano inside. He's been handling the pitch away.
I love Jonathan Lucroy's chest protector, by the way. He and Buster Posey wearing different styles of U.S. themed catcher's gear. That thing pops. Oh, and 1 to Cano. To shortstop. And Danny Duffy pitches out of a big-time jam. Second and third, nobody out. Nothing in the bottom of the second. Well, we know what the championship round will look like in part. The only piece of business to be determined is who plays Japan. The winner of this game goes to L.A. for that on Tuesday. It's the Netherlands and Puerto Rico Monday night, and then the championship game Wednesday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on MLB Network. Danny Duffy and the Americans fade a big jam in the last of the second as Giancarlo Stanton leads things off in the third. Stanton, Lucroy, and Kinsler against Irvin Santana. And second and third, nobody out. And Duffy keeps the scoreboard clean for the second. How did you feel about situations like that? Because I know that I've heard Dave Stewart talk about this when he was in his run of 4 straight 20-plus win seasons anchoring the Oakland A's. He used to say, runner at third, nobody out, he's going to score. So forget about him. Right. Wipe him out of your mind. Did you feel the same way?
Well, yeah. In that situation, second and third, you got to just say one. You get 1 run. And if you give up none, that's unbelievable. But you can't try to pitch some situations into a scoreless inning every single time because you'll pitch your way into a crooked number. That's when you give up 3, 4, and 5 runs in an inning. But if you limit the damage, then you give your team a chance.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Stanton, just 1 for 10 in the tournament so far. There's a shot into the corner and foul.
Well, the early word to each lineup should be, okay, we need to be aggressive early. The strike zone's kind of big as far as height to it. If we see one in the area we want, let's go attack and not take your chances with 2 strikes.
And Stanton's got a base hit. The biggest, strongest dude in baseball. And he comes up with a ball off the end of the bat the other way that gives the U.S. a base runner.
End of the bat is right. This is a slider. And the reason it's off the end of the bat didn't make that quick turn that Santana's known for. And I mean, you'll take him any way you can get him right now.
Second U.S. hit of the night. And now Jonathan Lucroy, the 2-time All-Star catcher, who has 4 hits in 7 career tries against Santana. Fastball starts him with a strike. Conservative lead for Stanton, but he's running anyway. And it's a base hit for Lucroy. Stanton to third easily as he was put in motion, and the U.S. is in business. We weren't really sure how willing the U.S. would be to hit run because they weren't really in sync in Miami.
But they were in sync right there. Got a fastball and right up the middle. And now it's Kinsler's job to at least get the runner in and make sure you cut the deficit. Executing at these moments, even if he's to ground into a double play, it's 2-1. I've seen so many times where you try to continue the rally with hits, overswing, pop up, and then the next guy hits in a double play and you got nothing. In these kind of games, you have to score when the team gives you an opportunity. The previous inning, Dominican did not do that, and now it's up to U.S. to get back in the game.
So the first 2 hitters in the third, continuing the momentum that was built after Duffy pitched out of the jam last half inning. Now it's the top of the order, Ian Kinsler, who takes a strike. Big career numbers against Irvin Santana. First and third, nobody out. You know, back to the hit and run. You know, the team has not been together for that long. And I didn't know if Jim Leland would be reluctant to go to that here in this win-or-go-home game.
Check outside.
Because there are a couple occasions in Miami where it didn't really work out for various reasons. So you get the feeling that the skipper is just saying, look, we're letting our hair down here. One and one. crowd's into it. They promised us a near sellout tonight, John, and I'll be darned if it's not almost completely full tonight.
Yeah, they filled in late. Nice.
A ball and 2 strikes to Ian Kinsler.
This is where Ian's got to put it in play somewhere other than the pitcher.
The U.S. in the tournament with runners in scoring position are hitting .255. Another check-in at first base on Lucroy.
I mean, what scouting report do they have that I'm missing? Or is that just nerves?
I think Jonathan takes it as a compliment over there. Adam Jones next. Here's the 1-2. Jones has been one of the primetime guys for Team USA in the tournament. 2 home runs. They've come on back-to-back nights, rather.
That was a great pitch. Had he got that up a little bit, I think he would have froze Kinsler in the inside part of the plate.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Was Lucroy running on the pitch there? No, crack of the bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kinsler's really making Santana work here.
Well, he's pounded him in twice. He's got him thinking inside. Now will be the time to go slider away off the plate. It's rare if you're hitting, do you ever think a guy's going to go in the same spot 3 times in a row? But you're not sure.
This will be the 7th pitch of the plate appearance on its way. And it's past Santana. It will get a run in. Ian Kinsler executes. The U.S. is on the board. It's a 1-run game. Boy, Santana almost speared that baseball as it whizzed past him, and that would have been a bit of a game changer there.
Well, he made a great pitch on the slider away, and Kinsler did what he had to get it in play. And this deflection right there almost cost Santana. I don't think they would have turned it either way, but it slowed it down just enough.
That's a nice plate appearance by Ian Kinsler, who is usually a much more aggressive swinger early in the count. He's not a count worker, if you will. His pitches per plate appearance number is among the bottom quarter of American leaguers. He does like to run occasionally, though, and Santana's going to check in with him. Adam Jones grounded out in his first at-bat tonight.
Already a huge inning for the U.S. The fact that they didn't give up a run in the previous half inning and the fact that they've come back and cut it 2-1, that's a big inning already.
Jones pops it up. Slicing near the seats. Santana's got a play for route number 2.
U.S. would also like to see Yelich get going again. He was locked in Miami, his home ballpark, so he doesn't mind hitting there.
He too grounded out in his first try tonight. His 0 for 4 yesterday snapped the 4-game hitting streak that you referred to a moment ago, John, and it's swing and a miss from him here.
And he's only 1 for 8 returning home to where he's from.
One of a handful of Southern Californians on this USA roster. Another one of them waits on deck, Nolan Arenado. Well, Urban Santana trying to lull everybody at the plate to sleep. He's checked in at first base a dozen times already this inning. The U.S. stole a base with Hosmer in the second. He would end up stranded. Small lead for Kinsler, and a pitch that misses the corner.
As a pitcher, there's a couple ways that you can disturb the timing of the runner at first. You can hold a little bit longer one time, go quicker one time, throw over there. Just don't want to get a comfortable timing lead and get like an actual running start.
Yelich into the gap in left center field. They're going to wave Kinsler around. And the U.S. has tied it into third.
Well, that's it. Get him going. And get him going, did he? Takes a pitch on the lower part of the plate, splits the gap. Good speed out of Kinsler. Hits the inside of each bag. Knows exactly what he's trying to do. We get to start over.
Christian Yelich set career highs in doubles and RBIs last year in Miami. It is exactly that here, an RBI double that ties the game at 2. Pitching coach Bill Castro out to chat with Santana. I want to see the dude dressed like George Washington again. It's really an unusual choice of wardrobe for a pro sporting event, but I get it. I love the patriotism there, George. Thanks for joining us after crossing the Potomac. Here's Arenado now. The ever-dangerous two-time All-Star. The most prolific RBI man in baseball the last 2 years.
He's getting closer. And what I mean by getting closer, I know that the tendency is to want to do so much, and he tried that in Miami, hit some balls hard, didn't get hits. Only got the one hit, but it was a homer. He's getting closer to tracking the baseball and making some serious contact.
I mean, he takes such a mighty hack. And as you mentioned, getting closer, you just get the sense he's on the verge of sending one all the way up to SeaWorld. 263 stakes over the last 2 years. The Dominican bullpen is active behind their starter. And it's 1-2 to Arenado.
And that's exactly where you've got to pitch a guy who wants to get out and smoke a baseball. Down and off the plate. Great slider right here. He has that unique slider that goes straight down at times.
And Arenado calls for time. The first player since Mike Schmidt in 1980 and 81 to lead the National League in home runs and RBIs in consecutive seasons. We know what Nolan Arenado is capable of. Two and two now. A most decided big game field tonight. A packed house, a 2-2 tie in an elimination game that awards the winner a seat in the semifinals. And again, Arenado takes time.
Yeah, the timing of a hitter when he's in the box and becoming stagnant. He's a guy that likes to move. You see his feet always doing a little bit of a two-step right before the pitch comes. And the longer he has to wait, the more he's going to feel uncomfortable. So he'll ask for time. Hitting's no different than pitching. The rhythm of certain guys works in opposite ways. Some pitchers can take forever, execute their pitches.
Two-two to Arenado. Got him swinging. A nearly 20-minute inning that was worth the wait for the Americans. Tomorrow, more spring training games on MLB Network, starting with the Twins and Red Sox at 1 Eastern. Then in prime time, the Royals and Cubs at 10. Spring training on MLB Network, presented by Best Western. U.S. is pulled even. A pair of runs in their half of the third, so Danny Duffy now working with the 2-2 tie, and I must make a correction, which I'm sure many of you saw coming. You know, I could say ridiculous things on the air for hours, John, and it wouldn't move the needle at all. Nobody would say a word. But when you say that George Washington crossed the wrong river, you're going to hear from it immediately.
No, people don't understand what you're doing.
The Delaware. I was never much of a history guy. Confirmed.
I know, but you have an investment in social networking, and when that starts getting at, you get that people interacting on social networking, you're accomplishing your goal.
That's what we're trying to do here?
Well,
everybody wants to get their fake Twitter users stuff to tweet about?
Yeah.
Three balls in a strike, rather. Nelson Cruz leading things off in the third. Cruz, Santana, and Marte here for the DR. Cruz reached on a wild pitch strikeout back in the first. Key inning so far was that bottom of the second. The Dominican Republic at second and third, nobody out. Danny Duffy shut the door on them. Loses the leadoff hitter here in the third.
Well, StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services, is going to take us to the previous inning. We're going to see Ian Kinsler after this double by Yelich. Exit velocity 103.1. Kinsler sees what's in front of him, knows he just hits the bases at the right spots. He's going to score. Max speed, and look at the time, 10.9 seconds to tie this up.
Runner at first now for Carlos Santana, who singled in one of the two first inning scores. That's on the ground at third. Arenado to Kinsler. That's the house for the double play.
Well, leadoff walk quickly erased by a 5-4-3 double play. You don't want to give this Dominican team traffic on the bases. Previous inning, they have leadoff base hit and then a double. Didn't score, and this one erased on a double play.
Starling Marte now reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Saw the gentleman wearing the Royals jersey there, the Kansas City connection playing a role in that double play ball, of course. Hosmer on the receiving end and Danny Duffy on the mound. You may have noticed earlier in the night, it's been obscured a little bit as the innings wear on, but on the back of the pitcher's mound, Danny Duffy put the number 30 in place. It's still kind of there. And that's in tribute to his former teammate, Giordano Ventura, who lost his life in an auto accident in the Dominican Republic this winter. So paying tribute to his former teammate. He's also tipping the cap to the Dominican Republic, and I'm sure they appreciated the gesture as well. Ventura's jersey hanging in the dugout for the Dominicans all tournament long. It's right next to that of Andy Marte, who also tragically lost his life this offseason. 2-2 the count to Starling Marte. Another ground ball. Crawford's got it. 7 ground ball outs on behalf of Danny Duffy tonight. U.S. tied it for him, and he keeps it tied to the end of the third. Two-two ball game as we head to the top half of inning number 4. Beautiful aerials of downtown San Diego tonight. Been a great week here at Petco Park. Eric Hosmer leads things off for the U.S. Hosmer, McCutchen, and Crawford. A team best 8 for 19 is Eric Hosmer in the tournament. A high fly ball into the opposite field for round number 1. Between innings, J.P. Morosi visited with the Dominican manager, Tony Pena.
Tony, RBI double for Cano in the first inning. How much are you relying on your captain here tonight?
Well, he's a professional hitter, you know, and Cano is unbelievable. He just tried to do the best he can every single day. Early, he was behind, and then he just tried to do too much. Now he's more comfortable of the play.
With your bullpen so rested, is 5 innings enough from Santana tonight?
I didn't say, let's see how to go. Let's see how to go. You know, my bullpen is ready, and I will not be afraid to use it anytime.
Gracias, Tony.
Yeah, Tony knows he's loaded with some big-time arms in the bullpen, but he's not going to tip his hand. Hector Neris had been up earlier, and he's been joined by the left-hander Fernando Abad. Counts 2-0 on Andrew McCutchen. 3 balls and no strikes now. Santana has not walked a batter tonight. He's given up the 2 runs on 4 hits. His 60th pitch of the night is up for a strike. 80 is the pitch limit in this round of play. Again, Santana was in the early stages of Twins camp when he got to the team. And now it's a full count, 3-2 to McCutchen. Once we get to LA on Monday to start the semifinals and finals, that pitch count number increases to 95. Doesn't mean we'll get there with anybody. Gives the managers a little bit more latitude, however. It's been a challenge. Every manager in this event, and we have been a part of them since 2009, has echoed the same thing. It's challenging. Keep guys within their limitations. You oblige the wishes of the clubs because there is a bigger picture here for the majority of players in the tournament, especially with these 2 teams. They're getting ready for the Major League season at the same time.
It just feels more like a regular game when you can have that pitch count and that pitcher that might be dealing for you out there longer.
McCutcheon sends a ground ball to first. Santana's got it for route number 2.
Because in this format, it doesn't matter what the pitch count is. If the pitcher's not effective, he's not going to last very long. But what you hate doing is taking him out when he's been effective and shortening the game.
Two out, bases empty now for Brandon Crawford, who flied to right in his first at-bat. So best case scenario for the Dominican, Santana could retire Crawford, and at least Tony Pena would have the option. He could consider a 5th inning with him. He doesn't have that much more ceiling left until he gets to 80. You know, when Urban Santana signed, he was reported to be a 16-year-old named Johan Santana. That's his birth name. And he stayed Johan until the other Johan Santana established himself in the big leagues, and then he said, I want to be called Urban now. It's a base hit for Crawford.
Crawford swinging it. Triple, double, and now single in his last 3 at-bats.
7 for 16 in the tournament. Keeps the inning alive and puts a man aboard in front of the one of the big power threats in the lineup, Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton to left! Good night now! There's the big fella.
Big G! Let's go! Put it on the board! Let's go. I am so pumped for baseball season. Let's go. Let's go.
The end of the night for Urban Santana. The U.S. has grabbed its first lead of the night. They're replacing a brick in the Western Metal Supply Company building, and we'll be right back.
And in case you missed it, StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. This is a laser. An absolute frozen rope at 117.3 miles per hour. You see how the distance was projected. Stanton known for hitting some of the hardest balls in baseball. Look at this for 2016. That's not a misprint.
The 5 hardest hit balls all of last season. Now playing first base, Bugs Bunny. Second place, Bugs Bunny. Shortstop, Bugs Bunny. All Giancarlo Stanton. Did that go inside the suite? I mean, that was second basket. And it would have kept going if it didn't hit a wall, I guarantee you. Here's Jonathan Lucroy now. Big Giancarlo didn't do much to start the tournament. He got here 1 for 10, but man, has he been a big player tonight. Hector Neris making his 3rd appearance of the tournament. The U.S. with their first lead of the ball game.
Well, talking with Jim Leland, that was one of the things he said. Is that we're hoping that the big guy can knock one out of here, and there's only one really big guy that he was concerned about or talking about, and that's Stanton.
Two balls and a strike to Lucroy, who singled in the 3rd. Here's where it ended up. Did not get in the door. Still bouncing around in that basket.
Thankfully, it didn't hit anybody.
Stanton had a lot of success here in July. A home run derby record, 61 to win the home run derby here at Petco Park prior to the All-Star game. He wasn't an All-Star, but he came here specifically to win the derby, and he did it.
He doesn't have to travel very far next year.
That's right. His home park. Jonathan Lucroy to left. Did he get it? Not quite enough. Polanco able to make the catch to retire the side. Danny Duffy goes back to work with the lead, and he gets the bottom third of the order. Beltre, Polanco, and Castillo, and that's the view from where Giancarlo Stanton's two-run home run ball landed last half inning. 0-1 the count to Beltre. Fly ball into right center. McCutchen will handle this. We talked about Stanton here in July at the Home Run Derby. There were some of the biggest home run hitters in baseball that played. Mark Trumbo gave him a match. Trumbo moved on to that final round. Todd Frazier had a nice run. He came here as the defending champ. And as good as those guys were, nobody was going to match Stanton. 61 home runs, a Derby record. And he'll be the defending champ when the event moves to Miami this year. There's Gregory Polanco now. He's homered here in the event. 8 for 15 as he got here and singled back in the second.
See a little bit pressure. Danny Duffy with a 2-run lead now. The U.S. has been amazing. They have not buckled. They've been down. They just seem to have the ability to come back. Even the last game, down 3 in the 9th.
Japan awaits the winner of this one as Polanco has another base hit. It makes him 10 for 17 in the series, in the tournament that is. But between innings, J.P. Morosi had a chance to gauge the reaction on the U.S. bench after the Stanton home run, and he visited with Josh Harrison.
Josh, how do you describe the sound and the reaction of that Stanton home run in this dugout?
It's a cannon, for one, off the bat, and then the reaction in the dugout is some screaming, but a little disbelief at how fast it got out. Most of us are used to seeing him do that against us. It's nice to see him do it for us.
Josh, you're from a great baseball family in Cincinnati, Ohio. How much fun has it been for them to watch you in this tournament?
Oh, man, it's been exciting, man. Truly a blessing. But my family gets a chance to see me, do something that, is a special occasion. And, it's something that I don't take for granted.
Josh, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Josh, a role player for Team USA. His versatility making him a really important player on Jim Leland's bench as Wellington Castillo takes a strike. Castillo doubled back in the second, trying to pick up Polanco at first with one away. Wellington Castillo has caught every inning for the Dominican Republic in this tournament. That included a long 11-inning affair last weekend in Miami. When the Dominicans needed 11 innings to beat upstart Colombia and punch their ticket here. Broken back. Crawford read it nicely. And there are 2 away. So now Jose Reyes bats, and prior to going to work on him, Lucroy and Duffy have a conversation.
ball was hit just a little bit softer. You might have seen Crawford eliminate Polanco from the base paths and put Castillo at first by letting that one drop.
Danny Duffy getting better as the night wears on. As he gets a swing and a miss by Jose Reyes. He's had success crowding Reyes up. First time through the order, 7 of the 9 hitters that Duffy faced reached base in some way, shape, or form. Hits, errors, fielder's choice plays, a fastball strikeout in there. But only 2 of the next 9 have gotten bored.
Ball's inside.
1-1. Start managing the scorecard and thinking about bullpen innings tonight. Pat Neshek is up.
Yeah, the bullpen for the U.S. team, they feel they can match the Dominican team. And Jim Leland will do everything he can to provide matchups to what he likes. There are a couple guys he may not go to based on their usage already in the WBC. That's the hard part, making sure that he adheres to all the team's respectful wishes of their own players.
And it's 3 balls and a strike now. And that's where at-bats like this become so important, because if Duffy were able to make quicker work of Reyes, he's preserved for a bigger pitch count in the 5th. Again, the max number is 80 here. You could have almost started to think about 4+, even 5 complete. And it's a full count now. At the very worst, Reyes will have extracted another handful of pitches off the count for Danny Duffy. At the best, he's able to get on base and force Jim Leland's hand here.
So energetic. Pat Neshek.
3-2 to Reyes. He's rolled out to shortstop. That is out a big out. It prevents the U.S. from having to make a move to face Manny Machado in the 4th. Played 4 complete, 4-2 U.S.
Get up for something good this season with MLB Central. Join Matt Vasgersian, Mark DeRosa, Lauren Shahadi, and special guests for your leadoff look at the day in baseball, plus all the news that's central to the game. MLB Central presented by Hyundai, returning Monday, April 3rd on MLB Network. If you're going to get up in the morning, this is what you need to be watching. Simply put.
Thanks, John. Take that endorsement. Ian Kinsler leads things off against Hector Neris. Neris finished out the 4th inning. Came on after the Stanton home run, gave the U.S. the 2-run lead. Top of the order here for the Americans, Ian Kinsler, Adam Jones, and Christian Yelich.
Inside.
Two fastballs in for a strike. 2 balls and a strike now from Neris.
Neris fastball split.
And there's ball 4. Leadoff hitters aboard the U.S. 5th. So that'll bring up San Diego native Adam Jones, who before the game today was presented with something very special by a very special member of the crowd. That's Kennard Jones, who is Tony Gwynn's son-in-law. And that's one of Tony's bats that KJ brought to the ballpark, along with one of Tony's grandkids to give to Adam Jones. And there's Tony's daughter, Anisha. Gwynn family here. Still very active in the San Diego sports community. Their dad's impact on the community and this franchise is still felt today. First pitch to Jones, misses outside. Quick whiz throw down to first. JP, the backstory on that bat presentation, is that something that Adam had asked for?
Yes, he had, Matt, and really it's very special for Adam Jones. Adam is actually the godfather to Caden Jones. So again, Adam Jones, the godfather to Tony Gwynn's grandson. So a very special moment there. And very poignantly, Matt, Adam Jones told Caden at that moment, your grandfather built this place.
Wow. Right about that. Big swing and a miss from Adam here. Christian Yelich waits on deck. He had the RBI double in the third that tied it. Stanton's home run in the fourth has given the U.S. the lead. Miami connection here in San Diego. Two balls and a strike now.
Well, earlier you saw the scoop by Castillo. Kinsler was reading that. That was a fantastic scoop, by the way. And just the hesitation was the only reason that Kinsler was able to get back. A 2-1 pitch right here. They could have something going if Jim Leland feels like he's going to get the pitch that Jones can handle.
Two balls and two strikes. Hector Neris is a strikeout artist, 102 last year out of the Phillies bullpen, second most in franchise history by a Philly reliever. Talked about him in the tournament. He didn't sign until he was 21. And in baseball years, that's late.
Well, when he establishes a low fastball and fouls it with a split, hard for the hitter to lay off of.
He throws his splitter almost 50% of the time. Only a handful from him so far in the inning. And Jones wants time. Taking a page out of Nolan Arenado's book. Great year with the Phils. Got into almost half of their games last year. Wow. Two balls and two strikes to Adam Jones. If you can't talk to it, just give it a little kiss. Warm it up for you. Try to get on 2-2. Yelich next. Nobody out. Kinsler off the bag at first, and Neris strikes him out.
It's a great pitch right here. Adam Jones just missing it.
Tony Pena just came flying out of the DR dugout to make that pitching change. He had a bod up a moment ago, and wants the left-hander for Christian Yelich with 1 out and 1 on in the 5th. Pitching change, and we'll be right back. The 3-2 to Cano, ripped into the opposite field. Yelich is on the move, and it's off the wall. And the Dominican Republic strikes first. Yelich into the gap in left center field. And the U.S. has tied it in the 3rd. Stand to left. Good night now. A 4-2 game downtown at Petco Park tonight. 1 out, 1 on after a pitching change and some support. Somebody went to great lengths to figure out how to make that sign visible from such a long way away.
That's pretty cool. So has this night been so far.
The new pitcher for the Dominican Republic is the veteran left-hander Fernando Abad. He is called on to try to retire Christian Yelich, who's had some success against him. He's reached safely in 4 of 6 career plate appearances against Abad. Has homered against him as well. Abad's making his 4th appearance in the tournament tonight. Pitched on Thursday against Venezuela. A shutout inning. Stranded a couple of base runners that he inherited. 31-year-old left-hander acquired by the Red Sox in August in a deal with Minnesota. Boston, his 5th major league stop. And he's fallen behind Yelich, 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, that breaking ball's awfully difficult on left-handers. But he has just missed. They're asking where, how much. Good breaking ball right here. Sweeps the outside part of the plate, but just a little bit outside.
A strike to make it 3-1. You love the idea of putting somebody aboard in front of Arenado, who's appearing to be on the verge of heating up. When did the Elton John concert start? How come we didn't get those, Smoltzy? Are those cell phone lights?
Yeah, they're cell phone lights.
I was going to say, I didn't think they had a giveaway tonight.
It's the lazier version of the wave.
Well, the aliens weren't going to find us before. Yeah, there's ball 40 Yelich.
Somebody probably turned it on. It just grew. It's like a person standing in the middle of the street looking up in the air. Everyone starts looking up in the air.
Some fan lost his keys and turned on his cell phone light, and there's everybody else. Alicia Yelich is here. JP visited with her in Miami. She is thrilled to have her son back home for a little while, although he's been a little busy since coming back to Southern California. Back-to-back batters with pitching changes. As with Nolan Arenado's schedule, Tony Pena didn't hesitate. He wants a right-hander. Another change, and we'll be right back. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the World Baseball Classic Incorporated. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. The historic Hotel del Coronado. And just across the Coronado Bridge to Petco Park, where the U.S. has something brewing quite possibly against the Dominican bullpen. Fernando Rodney celebrating his 40th birthday today and back at the site of some of his best major league work. Before being dealt to the Marlins last year, he was 17 for 17 in save opportunities as the Padres closer. Allowed all of 1 earned run in his 28 appearances. And the former Major League saves leader as recently as 2014 is appearing tonight as early in a game as he has in a decade. It's usually not Rodney time until the ninth. Here's Nolan Arenado now.
Well, coming into tonight, this is the bullpen comparison. You see what the USA has done and Dominican have done. Almost the same amount of innings. The hard part off of Rodney is picking a fastball because he will throw that changeup right off the fastball. You can't really tell between the two. Got to guess right.
The fastball that time to even the count at 1-1.
Usually pitch backwards in tight situations, meaning if it's a 2-1 count, you're more likely to see a changeup. If it's a 1-2 count, depending on the previous pitches, you're more likely to see a fastball. He will feed off the aggressiveness of the hitter to determine what pitch he's going to throw.
Broken back, ground ball to shortstop. Reyes to Cano, the double play. Wait for it, wait for it.
I don't think so.
He's not going to shoot an arrow after all.
Arrows don't come out that early.
Nothing in the U.S. half of the fifth. This World Baseball Classic telecast on MLB Network is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's, perfect. And by Lexus. Experience the thrill of the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event now through March 31st. See your Lexus dealer. And by Wendy's. Danny Duffy continues. Creeping up on his ceiling of 80 pitches. So go to work on Manny Machado, Robinson Cano, and Nelson Cruz in the DR half of the fifth.
By the way, I could crush a 4-pack Reese's Peanut Butter Cup like nobody.
We could make that happen. 4-pack, huh? Big ones or the little Halloween ones?
Oh, the big ones. Yeah, I got issues when it comes to sweets.
Pat Neshek was up last inning. And Duffy got out of a mini jam, stranding a runner at first. Took something off that time.
Good changeup right there. The other ones were floating a little bit. You get a little anxious trying to make it happen. But that one, you could tell Manny had absolutely not anticipated a changeup.
Danny Duffy, as you would guess, was really tough on lefties last year. So ideally he gets to face Robinson Cano next, even though Cano does have an RBI double on his watch tonight. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think the way Jim Leland sees this inning going down is Duffy gets Machado and Cano, and then you finish the inning with Neshek against Nelson Cruz. Still 2-2 to Manny Machado. We were talking about how invested Danny Duffy is in the Kansas City community and in the Royals franchise. 5-year extension and all. He was very active after the passing of Yordano Ventura in collecting memorabilia. We'll finish the thought in a moment. Here's the 2-2 to Machado. Line softly past Crawford. And Machado's aboard to open the inning.
The ball had funny spin, and Crawford just quite didn't get the jump and the read off the bat. Watch this ball kind of tail away from him right at the end.
That's going to be it for Duffy here. We'll finish the collectible story when we come back. But Duffy gone after yielding the leadoff base hit. He'll turn it over to his bullpen and hand him a lead. A runner aboard to start the inning. A 4-2 U.S. advantage. Enter Pat Neshek, and we'll be right back. Japan awaits the winner of this U.S.-Dominican tilt, and that game coming up on Tuesday. One of two semifinal games from Los Angeles next week. The first of which is Monday night, the Netherlands and Puerto Rico, and the two winners will meet in the championship game Wednesday at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, right here on MLB Network. And Danny Duffy's night is through. He exits with the base runner report as his responsibility, so 4+ from Duffy tonight. We were talking about the collectibles story a moment ago. Danny Duffy was trying to collect as many Giordano Ventura bobbleheads and jerseys as he could in the days after the passing of his teammate. And there was one particular collectibles dealer, as Pat Neshek takes over, who noticed the return address of all this stuff. He was shipping all these things to Kauffman Stadium. So when he finally got a hold of the recipient, Danny Duffy, he said, wow, this is pretty neat what you're doing. I'm going to give you this stuff for free. And Danny said, thanks, because I'm collecting it for Giordano Ventura's mother. A nice gesture, and again, Danny really ingratiating himself into the Kansas City community. Ball and a strike to count for Pat Neshek to Robinson Cano.
Well, it may not have been the performance he had against Canada, but the performance he had in the second inning is the reason why the U.S. team has a lead, getting out of that second and third. That changed the momentum of the game. The Dominican Republic looked like they were going to blow this game open. 2 in the first, could have scored 2 or 3 in the second. But when they put up a 0, the U.S. responded with 2 in the top of the third and top of the fourth.
Nelson Cruz waiting on deck. Neshek has to go through this Dominican Republic murderer's row. Neshek set. And the 1-2 to Cano. He popped him up. And there's one gone.
So here's what I was talking about. In the second inning, this is how it happened. 2-strike hit, 2-strike hit, and he could have scored on that. They were conservative, then a pop-up on a pitch up and away, and then a nice breaking ball that gets a pop-up. They don't go on Adam Jones. And then right there, a ground ball, huge pick-me-up for the U.S. team.
Second and third, nobody out as Duffy shut the door in the second.
I've seen it so many times as a pitcher. You watch 130 games a year, and you know you're going to see scenarios play out.
Ball's outside.
And the thing that I know it's, you got to give the credit to the pitcher sometimes, no doubt. But what the hitter's mindset at the plate will determine whether or not he's got a better success rate of getting a hit, getting the runner in without even getting a hit. If you never thought about getting a hit, you would get the runner in more times than not. That's the amazing part about baseball. But we're all geared to get a hit and keep the rally going.
2 balls and no strikes, the count to Nelson Cruz. These 3 hitters that Neshek scheduled to face, Cano, who he's retired, Cruz, who he deals with now, and Santana on deck, are only 2 for 15 with 7 strikeouts against the veteran right-hander. But Neshek falling behind here, 3 balls and no strikes. His last appearance was a perfect 8th inning in the win against Venezuela earlier this week. A dangerous hitter who's gone deep 3 times in the tournament. Ripped into the corner. Extra bases for Nelson Cano. They're going to hold Machado at third. Nelson Cruz with a 1-out double here in the 5th.
They sat on a 3-0 pitch. And he hit it hard in that same corner. Now it's up to Santana from the left side. Once again, limit it to one. That's the mindset when you're on the mound. Prevent the real big inning.
Carlos Santana has driven in a run tonight. Nothing in one.
Such a fast delivery with such a slow pitch. Almost like you're lobbing it up there. Hard to stay back.
Ball and a strike to Carlos Santana. Starling Marte on deck.
That's a 24-mile-an-hour difference between those two pitches.
One and two.
That was paint. I don't know if it caught the strike zone or not, but paint nonetheless. Real close. He's got this little frisbee cutter slider that he can run in on left-handers. He did it to Cano.
Neither team with much success with runners in scoring position tonight. The only guy that has a hit with a runner in scoring position is the guy at the plate. Machado with third, Cruz at second. And Santana pops it up. Four-time Gold Glover Nolan Arenado has it.
That's a wow right there. That's the floating changeup up. Santana just couldn't stay back. Committed himself to the swing right about now.
It's a guy with great plate discipline that just couldn't stay off that shoulder-high pitch. Starling Marte's 0 for 2 tonight. And Neshek starts him with a strike.
If you like mannerisms, then you're going to love watching Pat Neshek pitch. He's got little twitches here and energy here, and when he finishes, it's like his hand just wants to keep going.
Starling Marte's 0 for 6 against the herky-jerky, spastic stylings of Pat Neshek.
It's like he doesn't know what to do with his hand after he lets go of the ball. Watch this. He throws it, stands up. It's his little recoil version.
0-2 to Marte.
Every inning from this point, really every inning of this game is feeling like a ninth inning type inning.
You bet. Cruz and Machado aboard with 2 gone. A ball and 2 strikes on Starling Marte. Because of the nature of the tournament and the pitch counts and the restrictions, we talked about this before. All it takes for a game to flip is one reliever to have something less than his best stuff. I mean, you know going into it that a handful of guys are going to pitch for both sides. The next 1-2 to Marte.
He has not swept that pitch. That pitch was spinning. That slider right there spinning off the plate. You see him shake his head after he threw the pitch. Watch this. That's a little bit of an issue. It's not turning the corner.
Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's on that too. 4 straight fouls off the bat of Starling Marte with a 2-strike count. and they'll try it again. Adrian Beltre would be next with two gone. Machado singled to open the inning, then the pitching change with one out. Cruz doubled into the corner. Santana popped out. He got it! Runners at second and third, left stranded by U.S. pitching again. Follow every pitch of this year's World Baseball Classic live with the MLB.com @Bat app, your #1 app for live baseball. And join Major League Baseball, the new era, as we celebrate opening day. Tune into all the opening day action on April 3rd on ESPN, MLB Network, and MLB.com. Wear a cap on opening day, April 3rd, and share a photo on social media using the hashtag #CapsOn. Another big problem escaped with runners at second and third. Big relief outing by Pat Neshek. Keep the Dominican Republic off the scoreboard in the 5th. Eric Hosmer leads things off in inning number 6 for Team USA. Hosmer, McCutchen, and Crawford against Fernando Rodney, who'll continue after rolling a double play ball to end the 5th. The Dominicans have stranded 7 base runners tonight, and 5 of those have been in scoring position as Hosmer hooks the ground ball to the right side for out number 1.
Well, this at bat. Let's go through the pitch sequence. Throws the slider to first pitch. Fastball gets him to 2 strikes, and now he starts messing with the slider, but it's not where he wants it to be, and Marte gets his pieces of every one of these and fouls them off. But then that fastball right there and that excitement changes the momentum. Baseball is unlike football. You could have a huge play and have the momentum switch with a hard hit, something that goes on. Baseball creates its own momentum. When an inning like that, you expect the other team to score, and when they don't score, your team gets energized. And we've seen already what the U.S. has been able to do since that. Second inning, they've scored 4 unanswered.
Andrew McCutchen with 1 out. The base is empty. McCutchen's hitless 0 for 2 tonight. 1 for 11 in the Classic. You see things in this tournament that you just don't see once the season begins. Not only is Rodney appearing much earlier than he's usually out there as Tyler Clippard gets hot for the Americans. But when Rodney finishes an inning, he's usually done. He made 67 appearances last year. Only one of those bridged multiple innings. 2-1. Boy, a lot of closer candidates. Each one of these guys could finish the 9th. It's Jerry's Familia that gets the save opportunities for Tony Pena. Colome's fantastic. A great year in Tampa. And the big Yankee, Dellin Betances. And they're all fresh and available tonight. Three balls and a strike to count to Andrew McCutchen, the 5-time All-Star, trying to get on base here in the 6th. And he might have just done that. Instead, it's run down by Nelson Cruz for out number 2. JP, Pat Neshek was pretty pumped up, and for good reason, ending that 5th inning.
Yes, Matt. And one thing I noticed as Neshek was coming over to the dugout after that huge strikeout of Marte, he gets the congratulations here from Lucroy, then says, hey, I want the ball. Now, Neshek is a professional collector, Matt. He told me before this series started, he has the best set of 1970 tops in the world in terms of mint condition. He found cards on eBay, auction houses, also has a complete set of 1951 Bowman, including Mickey Mantle's rookie card.
So not only does he play with a lot of youthful enthusiasm, as Brandon Crawford takes a strike, he's got a lot of little kid in him. Baseball card collector, memorabilia collector, video game fanatic. hit for Crawford back up the middle. You know what else you have to have if you're a baseball card collector, memorabilia collector, and video game enthusiast? A very patient wife.
Yeah. This ball had good topspin. That's why it got by Cano. Normally Cano can make that play like nobody in the game.
Again, we said this back in the fourth, but that 2-out single by Crawford's important because it puts a base runner aboard and gives the big fella a chance to do damage. That was exactly the scenario in the fourth.
Are they passing out gloves in the Western Metal Supply Company? Protection.
Trying to put a screen up. That's the guy that got the home run ball earlier. Stanton's 2-run shot in the fourth with 2 away. Got out of here at 117 miles an hour, and I'm not shy about telling you folks back home that my partner called it to the exact mile.
I'm going to enjoy this. This is going to be my thing for the year.
Good changeup, swung on a miss.
I'm just wondering if there's been 2 consecutive hits for Stanton that has had a difference of about 51 miles between hits. 66 on the first one.
Yeah, that little cue shot off the end of the bat,
Yeah.
Short right. Fastball got him looking. Stanton thought it was outside. The 2-out single left stranded this time. To the bottom of the 6th inning, still a 2-run game. A new season's on the way, and MLB Network is bringing you 11 live opening week games, plus live look-ins and analysis from the best in the biz on MLB Tonight. Opening week coverage presented by Best Western, beginning April 2nd, right here on MLB Network. A pitching change after Pat Neshek kept the scoreboard clean. He hands the ball to Tyler Clippard here in the last of the 6th. Will face the bottom third of the Dominican order. Adrian Beltre, Gregory Polanco, and Wellington Castillo.
Well, much like Rodney, the changeup is the weapon of Clippard. A lot of elbows, a lot of wind up. Hitter gets to see a lot. Bugs Bunny changeup just doesn't get there. Fastball and slider combination.
2-time All-Star comes home with a fastball to go in front 0-2 on Adrian Beltre. Beltre's hitless tonight, just 1 for 13 in the tournament. Once the regular season begins, as we discussed in Miami, the countdown will be on. As Beltre begins this season just 58 hits shy of 3,000 for his career.
What did I say? May 18th, I think? Something like that.
I think that was your call, May 18th. You know, after Beltre gets there, the next up for 3,000 will be fellow Dominican Albert Pujols, who starts the season 175 hits shy. He'll get there. Maybe not this year, but he'll get there. Infield pop for Crawford and 1 gone. After that, it's Carlos Beltran. And you're not sure how much gas is left in the tank of a 39-year-old who is almost 400 hits away. So we're not going to see another 3,000 hit star for a while. Miguel Cabrera would be next up, and he's almost 500 hits away.
Yeah, but that's a lot. He's getting it. Not next year, but he's getting 3,000.
I'm going to say 3 years from now. Here's Gregory Polanco with 1 away. There are a lot more on the verge of 3,000 hits than there are on the verge of 300 wins.
Or 3,000 strikeouts, probably.
Yeah, that 300 win mark used to be your Hall of Fame designation. I think we're going to have to lower that threshold because people just aren't getting there anymore. Bartolo Colon is the closest at 233 among active pitchers.
CeCe's got to be up there, right?
CeCe's next on the list. Another base hit for Gregory Polanco, and this one gets past McCutchen into right. Gregory Polanco's 3 for 3 tonight, and 11 for 18 in the tournament.
Adam Jones made a nice play by getting there and getting a strong relay, because there was a chance he could go for 3 right here. He gets out of the box. Ball skips by McCutchen. And then Jones gets a strong throw.
Gregory Polanco is now hitting a tournament best .611. And he's in scoring position for Wellington Castillo, who's doubled tonight. Drive to center field. Jones is under it to make the play. And Polanco has to stay right where he is with 2 away. DR lineup is now just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight.
That was really close. Tied the game up. Just change speeds just enough.
So 2 away. Polanco still at second now for Jose Reyes, who's been held hitless tonight. Back to Reyes. If allowed a save opportunity, Jim Leland told us yesterday that Luke Gregerson is likely to be the man in the ninth. Jose Bautista not available to start the game tonight. A sore back kept him out of the starting lineup. Tony Pena told us before the game that there are situations where he considered pinch hitting Bautista, though it doesn't look like he's in any hurry right now to get him going. It's the thing with these lineups. I mean, you've got all these stars on the bench, but who are you going to pinch hit for? 0-2 to Reyes.
Go through another set of signs. Series of signs for the first one, then shakes. He goes to another set of signs.
A swing and a miss. He got him. Another story here tonight has the U.S. on top of the Dominican Republic 4-2. Third all-time meeting between these two baseball powers in this tournament. And the U.S. looking for their first victory over the DR. The winner tonight advances in the tournament and heads to Los Angeles for a date with Japan in the semifinals. The big Yankee Dellin Betances takes over here in the 7th.
Of that montage, what did you like best of those rematches?
Probably the tennis shot.
Tennis shot? No wrong answer.
Borg McEnroe's not the right answer.
No, I'm saying there's no wrong answer.
Oh, okay. I mean, the one that you're kind of thinking about that's the freshest is the college football story with Alabama and Clemson. So maybe that one. What about
they're
you?
all good. I just like the heavyweight because these are two heavyweights, you know. The heavyweight boxing champion.
1-1 to Jonathan Lucroy. Breaking ball misses the corner. It's 2 balls and a strike from Betances. Dellin Betances has one of his tall trees back in the Yankee bullpen this year when Aroldis Chapman returned as a free agent. 2 balls and a strike to count to Lucroy. Betances, for many, destined to be a Yankee. Born in Washington Heights, raised on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, grew up a huge fan of the core 4 teams. In fact, he was in the stands in 1998 when David Wells pitched his perfect game. Boomer's probably watching us tonight from Mission Beach here in San Diego, finishing a sandwich or something. Still 2-2.
99, 98. That's what this man's capable of with his fastball and then that power breaking ball.
Tyler Clippard's going back out there from the bottom of the inning because nobody's up in the U.S. bullpen. A swing and a miss at 99, and there's 1 away in the 7th.
Well, here's the pitch scripts. You get the 4-seam fastball, which you just saw, and then there's the knuckle curveball. Slurve, slider, whatever you want to call it, still pretty nasty. I've said it, and I'll say it again. This guy commands his fastball. He will be the best. He could be one of the best in the game because of his size, velocity, and weapons that he possesses. But he becomes a little less dominant when he cannot command his fastball.
There's Ian Kinsler now. He's driven in a run and walked tonight. Also scored 1 and takes strike 1. Adam Jones on deck with 1 out and the bases empty in a 2-run game, top half of the 7th. And Kinsler slugs a high fly ball out in shallow left where Polanco is calling everybody off for the 2nd out of the inning. You know, since the 2-run home run by Giancarlo Stanton, the U.S. has been limited to only 1 base hit.
Well, we said before it started, Matt, that if they didn't get some runs off the starters, it was going to be difficult.
Dominicans have out-hit the Americans tonight, 8-7. They have had a whole lot more opportunities with runners on base. They're just 1 for 10. And here's Jones now with the bases empty. Breaks the ball for a strike. Adam hitless tonight. He's homered in back-to-back nights in the tournament. Five-time All-Star. He'll see plenty of Dellin Betances once the bell rings and the regular season starts. It's 0-2. It's not necessarily good news for Adam Jones. 2 for 14 against him. And he struck him out. Dellin Betances makes quick work of the U.S. order in the 7th. Side down, 1-2-3. Up and stretching at Petco Park. It's been a good one tonight. The U.S. continues to lead by 2. Welcome back to this World Baseball Classic telecast on MLB Network presented by Geico. Back with John Smoltz and JP Morosi, Matt Vasgersian. A lot on the line tonight. The USS Midway, permanently anchored here in San Diego.
Well, they're all big innings, but this part of the lineup pretty strong for the Dominican.
It's the 2-3-4 part of the order against Tyler Clippard, Machado, Cano, and Cruz. Manny Machado has a hit. He scored a run tonight. Cano's doubled in a run, and Cruz has doubled as well. You know, as well as U.S. pitching is held up tonight, John, you just get the sense that you're tempting fate by giving the Dominicans all these opportunities with runners in scoring position.
No doubt.
Clippard looking for a clean inning here in the 7th. Hit well out to right center field. Jones still on the move, running out of room, and he makes the catch!
One of the best catches ever, baby. That catch.
The local guy saves the day.
We've seen this so many times in his home ballpark. It's about the same height of the fence in Camden Yards. Manny knows he's got it. This ball's crushed. But in the night air and some good fans cooperating by letting him get up there and get it. Wow. Most of the fans.
That was awesome. And Baltimore teammates tip their caps to one another. Tyler Clippard just says, "Oh my God, thank you." Oh, that was awesome. One away for Robinson Cano.
How many times during the season will he bring that up? Hey, you remember in San Diego?
He has every right to talk about it as long as he wants.
He completely robbed you.
2 balls and no strikes, meanwhile, to Robinson Cano. Rifled into the right field corner, fouled by a couple of feet. Some pretty loud contact here against Tyler Clippard. Sam Dyson up in the U.S. bullpen. Three balls and a strike now. That's long gone. I mean, that's not a cheapie. That's not the one you want to look at again to make sure it wouldn't have been a double. That's a home run, and Adam got up that high. 3 balls and a strike to Cano. Cano the other way. Yelich back. And he can't make the catch on this ball. Robinson Cano goes deep, and it's a 1-run game. Robinson Cano has come alive tonight. An RBI double started the scoring for Team Dominican Republic. A solo home run brings them to within 1, and that's going to be all for Clippard. A pitching change in a 1-run game in the 7th. We'll be right back. Well, Robinson Cano got off to a rather un-Robinson Cano-like start in the tournament, but man, has he heated up tonight.
Yelich had a chance to get this, but he got back to the wall, almost turned around, and didn't have an opportunity to get up off the wall. Had his back against the wall, and we were inches away from this game being 4-4.
Adam Jones saves a home run on Machado's ball, but Cano's gets out, and now it's Nelson Cruz, another guy with lift and separate power. This was what Jeff Jones and Jim Leland were doing as the ball was flying out. Jonesy was on the phone saying, I want Dyson next. And yeah, get him in now. Man, never mind. 0-1. Sam Dyson last threw a perfect inning versus Colombia on Wednesday. Versus Venezuela, rather, on Wednesday. Cruz with a high drive out to left center field. Jones says he's got it, and there are 2 away. Boy, Nelson Cruz knows he just missed that.
So much power on this team all the way through the lineup. And that pitch caught a lot of the plate. You could just see Nelson Cruz. Such a powerful hitter.
Carlos Santana now with 2 away. Santana bounces one to Hosmer to retire the side. So Sam Dyson gets the final 2 outs of the inning, but Robinson Cano gets the DR a little closer. This World Baseball Classic telecast on MLB Network is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And sponsored in part by Heineken. Open your world. And by the Puerto Rico Tourism Company. Visit cpuertorico.com to plan your trip today. Puerto Rico, one of the nations that has qualified, one of the teams, I should say, that has qualified to move on to the tournament. They have a day with the Kingdom of the Netherlands on Monday. The winner here gets Japan on Tuesday. Starling Marte leads things off for the Dominican Republic. The 0-1 from Dyson. Little comebacker and 1 away.
Dyson has such sneaky velocity and movement. You look at him, he's not very big. He's got that natural arm swing. Ball comes out of his glove, and then the ball gets quickly onto the hitter.
Here's Adrian Beltre now. His Texas teammate rolls over, and there are 2 away. Jim Leland told us before the Puerto Rico game yesterday that he wanted to stay away from Sam Dyson, in large part to have him fresh for tonight. So far, so good. As Dyson has retired all 4 hitters that he's faced. He's done so on 7 pitches. Luke Gregerson up, likely preparing for the 9th inning. 2 gone for Gregory Polanco, who has, without question, been the DR's best hitter here in San Diego. 3 hits tonight. He's 11 for 18.
If that were spring training, guys would be telling him, hey, you got to save some for the regular season. But because it's the WBC, they are all validated.
.38 saves last year for Sam Dyson, his first full season in the big leagues with the Rangers. Split his time in 2015 between Texas and the Marlins. He was originally a Blue Jays draft choice back in 2010. 1-2. Marlins claimed him off waivers in 2013. and then sent him to Texas in 2015, and the Rangers got themselves a good one. A strike away from a 1-2-3 inning and a 5-up, 5-down outing. Back to Dyson. Fantastic work from the right-handed Ranger. Well, the Dominican Republic was the first to score tonight, 2 in the first, but with the exception of the Cano home run in the 7th, the runs have come from the U.S., and it's a 6-3 ball game as we welcome you back in. John Smoltz, Matt Vasgersian. We knew we were in for a fun one tonight, and after the opener in this doubleheader today, we knew what the stakes were. Win here, go to Los Angeles, and the U.S. is 3 outs away from being that team.
They are. If they add on, it makes it a little easier for everybody in the dugout. But I think for the Dominican, man, they were seconds away from blowing this game open. And the second inning is going to prove to be the inning. If the U.S. hangs on, that's the turn that the U.S. needed, and it's the opportunity that the Dominican team did not cash in.
Jonathan Lucroy leads things off in the top of the 9th inning against a new pitcher on the mound for the Dominican Republic. The newest Tampa Bay Ray, after becoming a waiver claim from them earlier this month, is the former Red Jumbo Diaz. And there is nothing ironic, folks, about Jumbo's nickname. He has pitched as heavy as 347 pounds. A ball and a strike to count to Jonathan Lucroy. Listed officially at 6'4", with, I guess, a weight that'll float. 280 is what he checks in at currently. He is a big man.
Step outside.
2 balls and a strike. Jumbo's been up and down in the Reds bullpen for the last few years. Got 61 appearances, a career best season back in 2015. Your right-hander fastball is in for a strike, and it's 2-2.
Well, you just see the velocity and the slider that he has. The key is maintaining his mechanics, right? You mentioned how big he is, so it's difficult for the hitter to pick up the ball, but if his weight doesn't go in the right direction, it pulls him towards first base, which is a no-no in your mechanics.
Still 2-2 to Jonathan Lucroy. When the Dominicans bat in the bottom of the 9th, they'll have the number 9 hitter Wellington Castillo, and then Reyes and Machado. And if somebody gets on base, then Cano, then maybe Cruz. So the real thump, the real scary part of the lineup would get an opportunity if somebody can get on. And had it not been for the McCutcheon 2-run double, it'd be just a 1-run advantage. Lucroy chases a slider, and there's 1 away. Well, the World Baseball Classic, as you know, happens only once every 4 years. Don't miss your chance to see the best players in the world represent their country. Get your tickets now for the semifinals and championship game at worldbaseballclassic.com. Giancarlo Stanton, one of the U.S. contributors tonight. A memorable 2-run home run into the Western Metal Supply Company building. Here's Ian Kinsler now with 1 away. And Adam Jones has been huge. I just saw MLB Network's Ken Rosenthal, also of FoxSports.com, and he grabbed me in the hallway between innings and said, I don't know if people watching are aware of this, and maybe we'll talk about this in the weeks to come, but that catch that Adam Jones made was like the stuff of legend. If you're going to slay the beast and beat the Dominican, stuff like that has to happen. Somebody's got to be a superhero, and Adam was.
I'm just telling you, not everybody who can play great defense knows how to get to the wall and rob home runs like that. We've seen Mike Trout do it. We've seen others do it. But Adam Jones, I know on several occasions in his ballpark, has been able to do that. You need the right height of the fence, but you need the athleticism to get there and time it and know exactly where you are. And like I said, he did it to his teammate. That, right, is going to be a year long. And I'm sure it'll be just subtle, just kind of like when you beat a guy over and over and over in golf, you just kind of subtly just, man, I was thinking about that home run I robbed in San Diego. Wow, man, I'm trying to figure out who that was against. Oh, it's against you.
I mean, it flashed me right back to Torrey Hunter and Barry Bonds in the 2002 All-Star game in Milwaukee, the infamous tie. Only that's an exhibition game. I mean, much higher stakes here.
And that's why if I were commissioner for a day, other than the grandfathered wall of Fenway, I'd make every wall in the outfield a chance to rob a home run. Every wall, the height that allows you to have that kind of exciting play. Not a wall that was like in Montreal. You can't get one there.
Could there have been a greater set of reactions? I mean, you got folks with American flags in there. A 2-2 pitch. Jumbo Diaz humping up on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for the strikeout. Take a look at it. This was back in the 7th inning. Adam there. That's the play of the tournament so far for me.
That's like an Odell Beckham catch. Football.
And here's Adam with the bases empty. Something about that home cooking for Adam Jones. 7 big league games here. .429 batting average. He scored 10 runs, hit 3 dingers. Make it a .483 batting average. He's 14 for 29. Since he got to Baltimore in 2008, it leads all American League outfielders in hits and games played. The only Orioles outfielder to produce at least 25 home runs in 6 straight years. And if the Orioles backed up the truck to keep Chris Davis around, which they did, you better get a truck just as big for this guy. Grounded to shortstop. Reyes retires the side. Last chance for the Dominican Republic. They'll have Castillo, Reyes, and Machado going to the last of the night. The U.S. is 3 outs away from moving on to the semifinal. The U.S. turns to their closer, right-hander Luke Gregerson, to try to take him to Los Angeles next week. Gregerson last appeared here on Wednesday, earned the save against Venezuela, so he's fresh. And he's going to face a pinch hitter starting things in the last of the ninth.
Sinkers and sliders.
Jonathan Villar will face him to open the inning. And Gregerson starts him with a strike. Villar batting for Wellington Castillo. The defending champs are down to their last 3 outs tonight. This is Villar's first appearance in San Diego. He was the player added to the Dominican roster when Hanley Ramirez was removed. Last year's Major League stolen base leader. Behind 0-2. Last season for Luke Gregerson, he had the best swing and miss rate in all of baseball. Just under 43%. He's a returnee to the U.S. efforts in the World Baseball Classic. And JP, when the phone rang and he was asked to come back and pitch for Team USA a second time, he didn't hesitate.
Not at all, Matt. And the number he's wearing tonight is a very special one for the Gregerson family. Number 18 was the number that his father, Duke, wore during a Hall of Fame career in the Chicago Softball League. Duke Gregerson, Luke's father, passed away of brain cancer earlier this year on New Year's Day. And when Luke was given the chance to pitch for Team USA again, he said he wanted to do it, and he wanted to wear Duke's number. And again, the jersey that his father was wearing back in 2013 during the WBC, Matt, of all the jerseys Luke has worn, that's the one that made Duke the proudest.
So there's one out for Luke here in the ninth inning. They'll go to work on Jose Reyes with the bases empty. The Dominican Republic leadoff hitter has been quiet tonight, 0 for 4. Cano needs a base runner to get to the plate this inning. As Reyes takes a strike, it's 1-1.
And if you're Gregerson, you make them earn their way on. Pound the strike zone. If they get a hit, they get a hit.
Reyes to center field. Jones makes the catch. And the U.S. is 1 out away from moving to the semifinals.
That ball was tattooed, and Adam said, I got it. Crowd here in San Diego has been outstanding in support of the U.S. team. In general, the crowd, both sides have been fun, entertained, and loud.
Much different feel in this U.S.-Dominican matchup than the crowd in Miami last weekend. Manny Machado represents the last chance for the defending champs. The U.S. wanted a rematch with the Dominicans. They got it. They're an out away from moving on. It would earn them a rematch with Japan, the team that knocked them out in 2009 when the American squad had gone the farthest it's ever gone in this event. Robinson Cano solo home run in the seventh made it a one-run ball game. But Andrew McCutcheon gave the Americans some much-needed breathing room with a two-out double the very next inning. The 2-1. And the Dominican Republic's down to its final strike tonight. The U.S. has gotten to the semifinals only once in the history of this event. Jim Leland is a strike away from taking the Americans back there this year. On the ground for Crawford. And Team USA is headed to Los Angeles.
Well, there you go, guys. That's a replay of the United States Dominican Republic game. I'm going to be breaking down everything World Baseball Classic oriented. It's going to be a great tournament this year. If you haven't seen it before, you have been missing out. But this year you get to see it. It's going to be on Fox all over the place. If you've seen the tournament before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's some of the best baseball. And not to mention, it's competitive baseball early in the year, which is better than spring training, which is better than pitchers and catchers. And tonight, as soon as the last second on the clock runs on the Super Bowl, it's officially baseball season, folks. And I'll be here covering it all on New York Minute. That's NEWYRKMIN on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, anywhere in that smoke wagon you call the information superhighway. You can check out my stuff. Enjoy the Super Bowl if you're watching, and I will be covering tomorrow the latest baseball stories, New York AL East news. We're going to be comparing World Baseball Classic international teams and breaking all of it down. New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports for New York Nuts. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification button so you know when I go live. And I'm going to be replaying World Baseball Classic classics and also Yankees classics and AL East classics.